So, this is Benjamin, and this is part 3 to the series. We're talking about faith today. And if you hadn't noticed, so we started the series with love, and then we went to hope. And that's because if you don't understand the love of God, then trying to put hope in Him is difficult, if not impossible. And now we're talking about faith because we have faith that allows us to understand hope. But without hope, if you have no hope, then faith is just dead. Faith without works is dead. And in my opinion, like I said during the last message, hope is action. Hope is I'm willing to put myself on the line. So today we're talking about faith. Obviously, I think almost everybody who's been raised anywhere near a church probably knows the verse in Hebrews 11 that, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. However, I think that faith has probably been either under or over taught, depending on your perspective, in almost every church that I know of. My current pastor is very powerful as a pastor, and he teaches faith in a different way, so I'm hopefully going to pass that on to you. But really just the general idea. Faith is the substance of the things that you hope for. It literally is the evidence of the things that you don't see. You don't see those things happening to you. Some people say if you see it, you believe it. If you say it, then you claim it, name it, claim it kind of thing. That's not the kind of faith I'm talking about. The kind of faith I'm talking about is literally a surety. Another translation says it is being sure of the things that you hope for. It is the evidence of things not seen. However, I want you to understand something too, that, there was this whole scene that most of us remember of Jesus. He tells his disciples, go over in the boat, and there's this huge storm, and they say, what are we going to do? And Jesus says, O ye of little faith. Now, I find it absolutely fascinating that Jesus Christ, talking to his 12 hand-selected disciples, and he says, O ye of little faith. I do not believe that was a criticism. I do not believe that was him in any way putting them down. I think that was his way of reaching to us and saying, look at these guys. They have a little bit of faith. Watch what I'm going to do with them. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to change the world with these guys. Even though they have little faith, even after all they've seen, they still have little faith, and yet I'm going to use them to change the world. I think that's what Jesus was doing there. And I do know there's one story of the disciples all in the boat. Jesus says, hey, I'll meet you guys on the other side. Nobody stopped to think how he's going to get there. But they get in the boat, they start going, weather gets kind of rough. Peter sees Jesus on the water. He says, Lord, if that's you, just call to me and I'll come. But Jesus doesn't say, Peter, come. He just says, come to me. And the only one of the 12 who actually got out of the boat was Peter. I bet you that Peter was scared out of his mind. But his faith was his action. His faith, just like his hope, just like his love, was action-based. Now, this is the same one who's going to deny Christ, who's not going to know Christ, who's going to just totally miss the picture even just a couple of chapters later. So he is not a holier than anybody person, but he does have one thing they don't. He's willing to put it on the line. So he gets out of the boat. He starts walking. He's going, I can't believe I'm walking on the water, but I'm coming to Christ. I'm going to meet him. And he goes, and then he sinks. And when he sinks into the water, it's not like, oh no, what am I going to do? We don't see him splashing around, although we do see him kind of freak out a little bit. But Jesus immediately is right there where he falls. Reaches, lifts him up, and they walk back to the water. Jesus doesn't criticize him for falling. And that's just what faith is. It's about putting yourself on the line. But not just yourself, not because of your abilities, not because of your talent, not because of your skills, your history, not even because of what you've seen before. Faith is when you put it on the line because you know. It's that certainty of the things you don't know. And even if you doubt, you do the right thing in spite of doubt. Even if you're afraid, you do the right thing in spite of fear, because you have faith in God. Not faith in what He's doing, not faith in what He's done, but faith in Him. And that's how it works. So that's what faith, hope, and love are all about. I say in the beginning of your day, you need to stop and say, but first, before anything else, I'm going to show love. I'm going to acknowledge God's love in me, and then I'm going to acknowledge that in everybody I meet. But I'm going to live my life in hope, never settling for second best, because I know that He has the best for me. And then the faith comes into play when you say, hey, I know He has the best for me. I believe that's what it is, so I'm going to take a step towards it. I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to trust that if I put my faith in the hope that I have because of the love of Christ, then you have everything that you need. And that's faith, hope, and love. These three things remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these, of course, is love.